My 6-year-old dawdles every morning when it's time to get dressed for school. What should I do? Good question.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have when I talk about child rearing problems, I like to think about it in 3 different categories. We have the children who want to take control, like a display of power. We have the children who are just not being able to conform, so we have to use something called logical consequences. And then we have things that we call the display of helplessness. And I think that this question would be more addressed to the display of helplessness. Okay. So you wanted your focus is how to get the child to be more in charge of themselves and less helpless. So when the child is dawdling in the morning, you want to be thinking about what you can do to get them to self-regulate so that you don't have to be their memory, their alarm clock, their consciousness, so they can start to put a system in place for themselves. So what you could do is you could facilitate, for example, put a timer on, tell them that they need to be getting dressed by the time the timer goes ding. Right?
And do you reward them for that, or is the reward just that they did something good?
It's a self-fulfilling reward, that they are able to do it in the time frame that has been allotted. If it works, great. The problem is when it doesn't work. This is what parents pull their hair out about.
Exactly.
My kid doesn't want to do anything when I ask them to. So in those cases, we can go to logical consequences. Logical consequences are about finding a consequence that makes sense, that is connected to the behavior. So for example, when you talk about, well, you have to put on your clothes because the school bus is coming, and if you don't have your clothes on, then what's going to happen?
You have to get on with
So the child is saying, make my day, right? There is a sense of, I don't want to, and what are you going to do if I don't? So they're helpless at the same time as they're provocative, they're provoking.
They're challenging you, right?
So one of the things that you could do is think about, as an intelligent, cognitive person, instead of getting angry and frustrated, how could you solve this problem? One way that works really well is to tell the child, look, you have this time and this time, because children don't really have a concept of time at the age of 4 or 5. They, especially if they're a little bit inattentive. Okay. So if you help them with an alarm clock or a timer, you tell them that the timer is going to ring, and if you're not dressed by the time it rings, then you're going to go to school in your pajamas. But you have to be prepared to follow through. Mm-hmm. Right. And you need to have a child who's small enough to be picked up and put into the car in their pajamas. You prepare a bag with their clothes, so by the time they get to school, they have a chance to put on their clothes. But I will tell you that when the child gets to school in their pajamas and all their friends see them in their pajamas, they will only need 1 or 2 or 3 exposures. Yes. And they will be very quick to put on their clothes in the next few days, so they don't have to have that embarrassment.
Good point.
And this is something like the teacher would probably understand, that you're doing this for a particular reason as well. Or should you talk to the teacher?
You could certainly give the teacher a heads up.
Okay.